All right, hi folks, how are we? Coach Neil here, how are you going? So today is part 3 in the gut health series, okay? We've got a bit of a better location today. There's no background noise, hopefully, because some whiny fucktard still complained on the weekend. No, not the weekend, a couple of days ago, about the noise at the beach. I'm like, shit man, I'm giving away life-changing information. You're whinging about a fucking few people in the background making some noise. Anyway, this is quiet, all right? So let's get the party started. All right, so 1 and 2 were digestion. Video 2 was prebiotics, probiotics, and antibiotics. Okay, this is video 3. Okay, so this is about the common gut health conditions, problems, issues that most people are facing, or a lot of people are facing these days, and then some solutions. And now I can't tell you all how to heal every single thing in a 10-minute video. All right, I will give you some tips and some pointers. A lot of it will point back to what I've already told you. So your gut health is dependent upon your digestion and your probiotic quantity, your prebiotic feedings, and your enzyme activity. All right. But in this video, I'm going to tell you about the common conditions that I coach people for, that people come to me with, and why, some of the causes, and what you can do personally to try and rectify them yourself. If you can't rectify them yourself, guess what? Come and see me. All right. Okay. So on that note, let's get started. All right. Now, probably the most common complaint these days, if as an actual condition, is Candida. Okay, so Candida albicans is the main one. Candida glabrata is another variety. There's probably 4 or 5 others, but they're the main one is albicans. The second main one is glabrata. Okay, the treatment for each is the same. Okay, regardless of which it is. It can also manifest as thrush, whether oral or vaginal. Okay. But at the end of the day, it is the same thing as a fungal overgrowth. Okay, now everybody has fungus. All right, it's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when it overgrows and takes over and becomes the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the primary host in your gut, in your gastrointestinal tract, small intestine, and it takes over and it causes a lot of problems. Okay, as I'm sure you're well aware. The symptoms vary from bloating, tiredness, brain fog, fatigue, irritability, cravings, inability to digest certain foods or many foods properly, diarrhea, constipation. It varies on the person, okay? But at the end of the day, it is the fungus that is responsible, and to get rid of the symptoms, you've got to get rid of the fungal overgrowth, which I'll cover afterwards, okay? So that's Candida, all right? Another sort of sign of Candida is the furry white tongue with a sticky, gooey substance. So if you've got that and you don't know what the bloody hell it is, that's a symptom of Candida. Okay. The problem with these gut health issues is many symptoms overlap, so you're not sure what the bloody hell is going on. All right. Okay. So another one is SIBO. Okay. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, we've got 100 trillion bacteria within our guts as it is. Okay. But SIBO is when bad bacteria overgrow from the top of the large colon into the small intestines, and they become a real problem, okay? And unfortunately, symptoms is very similar to Candida, okay? So it could be SIBO, it could be Candida that you've got, all right? And the treatments are similar also, but if it's Candida, you've got to specifically kill the fungus, whereas if it's SIBO, you've got to kill the bacteria, okay? So, when you know what you're doing, it's actually, it's a simple process. I won't say easy, because it's extremely difficult to maintain the consistency that's required for the duration that's required in the right methodology. So the timing of what you have and what you do, and how often you do it, and when you do it, and what you eat after it. Okay, so it's quite difficult to treat, but it's actually simple once you have a plan and a strategy. Okay. All right, so another one is IBS, okay? IBS is very common, and that's generally not down to bacteria. It's just down to intolerances, more so, whether that be food intolerances, shitty lifestyle, which is created an environment in which you do not digest properly, and so IBS manifests as a symptom, okay? Generally one of the easier ones to correct, if you know that you've got it, and if you know what triggers it, you just remove what triggers it, then you fix the internal environment, and then you can put back in the foods that may have previously triggered it in smaller dosages until you become more tolerant of them, okay? But food intolerances per se are generally not necessarily foods that you can never ever eat again. They're foods that trigger you now because of your low probiotic strength or weakened digestive system, okay, or because of one of the other conditions such as Candida or SIBO, but that's not generally related to IBS, okay. Another problem is reflux and indigestion, okay, which is where your acid comes up from your stomach into your esophagus and if you're unlucky, right up into your throat and burns, okay. So reflux and indigestion are often triggered by foods of particular types, whether it be spicy or extremely pro-inflammatory foods like deep fried shit, pies, pastries, that type of stuff, chips, but not always the case, okay. Acid reflux can be a production of too much acid by you, all right, which is generally, again, goes back to lifestyle and diet overall. If you have a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet, your acid will normally, be where it should be. If you are over acid, there are ways in which you can reduce that naturally, okay? And, that's something I'll talk about in a little bit, all right? So reflux and indigestion, very common and very annoying, okay? And if you pop in antacids, which a lot of people do, that actually causes more problems than it does solutions, okay? You get worse gut issues later on if you keep popping antacids, okay? A natural way to relieve indigestion and reflux is baking soda. All right, so baking soda is naturally alkaline. Mix a couple of teaspoons of baking soda in 250 ml of water, scull it the second you feel reflux coming on, and it will neutralize it. All right, so just put that one in your little bag of tricks, okay? Now, another problem now, which is getting a lot of attention, but it's very hard to diagnose, is leaky gut, or intestinal permeability is the medical term, because medical people don't believe in leaky gut, but they cannot dispute intestinal permeability, which is the same fucking thing. It's holes in your gut lining, okay? Your gut lining is micro thin. It's made up of these cells called epithelial cells, okay? Now the good thing about them is they are one of the fastest recovering cells in your body, okay? So if you remove the things that cause the damage, allow them the time to repair and rebuild and heal, you will get back to non-leaky gut quite quickly. However, you have to remove all of the problems, and then you have to stop the digestive process for a certain period of time so that can occur, all right? Now, leaky gut is a big issue, because what happens then is little bits of food pass through the intestinal lining where they're not supposed to. It's supposed to be digested, obviously, and go through the small intestines where they can be absorbed as they're intended, and then the waste flushed out. If food passes through into your bloodstream, you have a massive pro-inflammatory response immediately. The immune system goes to attack it, you get chronic inflammation internally, and you have hundreds of problems, okay? Maybe hundreds is a slight exaggeration, but you really do suffer if you have leaky gut, in every way, shape or form, Okay, all right, so now, one thing I haven't mentioned is not necessarily related to gut health per se, but it's fructose malabsorption. So people will tell me, I can't digest fruits, I can't eat fruit, I can't have fructose, and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, so have you always been like that? Oh, no, I didn't start until, mid-20s or fucking whatever. I'm like, well, so then if you didn't have it since birth, you caught it from life, okay? You can't catch fructose malabsorption, all right? If you've got it from birth. If you've had it later in life, it's probably not fructose malabsorption. All right. So what I mean by that is all fructose has to be processed through your liver. Okay. If your liver is backed up, if it's full of shit, full of toxins, it's not purging correctly, it's not doing its job as intended, and then fructose tries to go in there to be processed, it won't work. All right. And then you have all the symptoms of fructose malabsorption. All right. Which traditionally a lot of bloating, gas, etc. Okay, it's not actually fructose malabsorption. If you clean your liver, you should find you'll be able to eat fructose again. All right, so there's another little thing for you to think about. Okay, so with any of these conditions, okay, it is generally the world we live in and lifestyle that causes them, unless you've had it since you were born, which is a shit hand you were dealt. I'm sorry if that's the case, because you unfortunately have to manage it. You will probably rarely ever be able to heal it completely. All right, but if you've caught something, if you've developed these conditions, throughout your life, from your, well, it's happening earlier now, which is a fucking worry, all right? But it shouldn't have happened previously until late 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on. Now it's happening in bloody teenagers and even kids, which just goes to show the state of the shit world that we're living in, all right? I mean, it's a fantastic planet. It's a beautiful planet. It's just that we're fucking it, all right? And we're fucking the food that we give people. The commercial food production industry is, there is no longer as much nutrition in the food as there once was, all right? The toxicity in the environment, all around us, the electricity, the Wi-Fi, the stress, all of these things come together and form a firestorm of disease and illness, which is what we are experiencing in the world today. I mean, it's just ridiculous that we are living in the most technologically advanced society known to man, because I believe there are other planets out there that are smarter than us, all right? And yet we have the highest rate of disease, illness, and death due to, preventative diseases and illnesses on the planet, on the planet, in the bloody universe, as far as I know, all right? So it's terrible, absolutely terrible. So, the primary causes of these things are stress, okay? Stress, when you're stressed, you don't digest, full stop. Even if you've got a fully functioning digestive system when you're not stressed, okay? So that leads to a ton of problems. You don't digest and you don't sleep, okay? So you're on the back foot your entire life. You're in a constant state of fight or flight, all right? And it just manifests more and more issues, okay? Lifestyle. Okay, now, hopefully by now you're getting the picture, but you need to take care of yourself, okay? You need to sleep, you need to eat well, and everybody knows what eating well is these days, so don't, what's eating well, Neil? Fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, food from the planet, from Earth, not from a box or a packet, natural food, not processed food, in a perfect world, organic, but you know what, it's not a perfect world, and organic is too bloody expensive. So just, wash your fruit and veg very well. Get that bloody wax and pesticide off of there, Apple cider vinegar is a good thing to wash it in. Vegetable washes these days you can use. Sodium bicarbonate, like I mentioned before. Baking soda is a good one too, all right? Now, another major cause of these issues is medicinal use, right? Whether it's over the counter or prescription. So particularly for things like leaky gut, okay, and also particularly for things like SIBO and Candida, you're looking at, the problem is, one of the biggest parts of the problems is antibiotic use, okay? Excuse me, my phone's gone a bit quiet, there we go. Antibiotic use, all right? NSAIDs, so non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so your ibuprofens and stuff like that. If you're always popping, painkillers and blood thinners and aspirins and Nurophens and, all of these things damage your gut lining, but they also destroy your intestinal flora, your gut microbiome, all right? So, which we talked about before, particularly antibiotics, obviously, they kill bacteria, all right? But the other things, they prevent your bacteria from being able to do their job effectively, all right? So going back to diet, obviously you want a diet high in fruits and vegetables. I've got no problem with meat. You can eat meat, okay? We're not meant to be vegan, all right? As much as, if you care about animals and animal cruelty, you would probably want to lean more towards a low meat diet. I probably only have 1 meat a day now. I do take a plant-based protein powder to boost my protein, and sometimes I mix that with a whey protein, which kind of contradicts some of the other stuff I say, but I do that purely to get the most beneficial amino acid profile and to save myself a few bucks, because plant protein is bloody expensive, all right? Water, I mean, obviously everybody knows you need to drink plenty of water, but we still don't, okay? So, you need plenty of water. And how do you know if you've had enough? Well, when you go to the toilet, your pee should be generally pale yellow, all right? It will be darker after a meal, so if you've had a meal and then an hour later you've gone to the toilet, you will pee darker because you're processing stuff and you're flushing out waste, which is fine, but generally throughout the course of the day, your pee should be a pale yellow colour. If it's dark yellow or fucking orange, then you're in trouble. You need to drink more water. And water is not coffee, water is not Coke, water is not soft drink, water is water. Or tea. I mean, obviously, I've always banged on about how much I love my tea. All right, so tea is my favourite go-to beverage as opposed to water. My other favourite beverage is lemon water, which a few of my friends on here will have a big joke about, because we've had some fun with that in the past. All right. Okay, so where was I? Water. Okay, right. So, oh, I've lost my train of thought. All right, yeah, so getting back to it, right? So, how do you treat fucking shit? Oh, hello, we there? Sorry, I just, my Wi-Fi just cut out. All right, we're still going, good. All right, cool. Okay, where was I? All right, yeah, cool. So, how do you treat these conditions? So, going back to what I said in video 1 and 2, digestion, and then, you know, keeping your probiotics healthy and strong with prebiotics, and keeping everything, you know, functioning the way it's supposed to by eating, you know, healthily. All right? But if you have these conditions, you've got to treat the cause before you can just focus on being healthy. So, you know, in the case of Candida, you've got to kill the fungus. In the case of SIBO, you've got to kill the bacteria. In the case of reflux indigestion, you've got to balance the acid. In the case of leaky gut, you've got to, you know, remove the triggers or the irritants, and you've got to allow the gut healing to the gut lining to heal. In the case of fructose malabsorption, you've got to let the liver purge and cleanse and detox itself, so that you can then process fructose again. All right. So I can't give you a specific tip. I mean, hopefully if you watch these videos, you put 2 and 2 together and you figure it out. You know, if you've got overgrowth of bacteria, you need to kill the bad bacteria, but not with antibiotics, okay? You do that with natural substances. For example, things like grapefruit. Grapefruit will kill bad bacteria, but it won't kill good bacteria, all right? If you can't eat grapefruit, because some people it's a bit much, then you take a grapefruit seed extract, which is a supplement. Oregano oil is a good one, okay? But, you know, essential oils you take in tiny dosages, all right? Apple cider vinegar, okay? So apple cider vinegar's got acetic acid. Acetic acid kills bad bacteria. If you've got fungal overgrowth, in a case of Candida, you want caprylic acid, okay? Caprylic acid is one of the acids in coconut oil, so lauric acid and caprylic acid. If you take coconut oil, just drink it, all right? It's bloody horrible, by the way, but if you do that, you will kill Candida, all right? You'll also spend the next 45 minutes on the toilet, but that's a small price to pay for killing, you know, the thing that is holding you back from your overall gut health, all right? IBS is a case of removing the triggers, fixing the internal environment, replenishing the probiotics, improving the digestion, the digestive enzymes, okay? And then you can actually then, you know, reintroduce some of those foods. And the main triggers for IBS, in my experience, are high wheat-based products with commercial wheat. Okay, so I'm talking about, you know, all the wheat products on the shelves in the supermarket, commercial breads. They are all hybridized wheat, which contain double the gluten that they should. Okay, natural gluten-containing products like oats, if they're, you know, naturally produced, spelt. Okay, like grains that contain oats at their, grains that contain gluten at its natural level are not dangerous, okay? So gluten is not the problem, it's the quantity of gluten, and also, this day and age, it's the pesticides, particularly glyphosate, okay? And other pesticides that are sprayed on the crops, which cause more of these gut problems than the actual gluten, okay? So everybody thinks they're gluten intolerant. That's actually probably not the case. It's the pesticides with the fact that it's too much gluten, all right? So yeah, bear that in mind, all right? Okay, so I've waffled on for a while here. I tend to do this when I'm, you know, unscripted, all right? But at the end of the day, so what's that, Michelle? You could have warned me about. Yeah, so some of my clients are already doing these protocols, all right? Or they're unknowingly doing them because I stick them in there without telling them. And then they find out for themselves the side effects of some of this health stuff, okay? But at the end of the day, my side effects from health stuff are short term, and then you're back to health, all right? Whereas you take medicine. Okay, we're back again. So my Wi-Fi keeps dropping out, so I'm going to cut this off in a minute. All right, so if you take prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, you're going to have you're going to have symptoms all the time. Whereas if you do a protocol of mine, you're going to have symptoms for a week or so, you know, as you kill these bacteria, if you kill the fungus, as you fix the problem, and then you'll start to get better and better and better and better and better. All right, so what's the whole point of this series? The whole point of this series is I am willing to help you if you need it. All right, so I have now introduced my new gut healing program. All right, it's a 30 or 60-day program. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Okay, if it's something like Candida, SIBO, IBS, reflux, fructose malabsorption, it's probably a 30-day fix. In my experience, the last lady that went through my program, it took her 3.5 weeks to fix a serious, long case of Candida. She had it for multiple years. She tried everything. In 3.5 weeks with me, she fixed it completely, 100%, and she doesn't suffer at all anymore. All right, so we're looking at 30 days for the less serious conditions, probably 60 days for the more serious conditions. And I've just remembered what I've forgotten: parasites. Okay, I forgot parasites. All right, a lot of these symptoms can be parasites as opposed to anything I've already mentioned. All right, if it's a parasite, it's a bugger, okay, because the only way to really tell is a stool sample. All right, so you have to get your shit in a cup, take it to, well, get a cup from your doctor, shit, and give it back, get it tested, and they'll tell you if there's parasites in there. All right, they'll also, they also should be able to give you your bacterial levels, good and bad. All right, but parasites are a real bitch because they take it. It's at least a 6 to 8 week process to do a parasite cleanse, to kill them and flush them out, and to get rid of their eggs, which hide in the body and will rehatch. Okay, so parasites is the one thing I haven't mentioned, and if you've got parasites, you're looking at minimum 60-day fix. Okay, but with me, with my programs, your protocol will not change beyond 30 days. It will remain the same. You just have to do it for longer. Okay, so what I'm offering is my 30-day or 30 to 60-day gut healing program. Okay, you can sign up with me. You have to apply. I'm going to put a link below. Okay, you have to apply because at the end of the day, I need to be sure you're ready for this program. This program is good for you. I'm good for you. You like me. I like you, because you know what? You won't stick with me and follow my advice if you don't like me, and quite a few people don't. Which I don't care. All right? I don't want people working with me that don't like me. I want you and me to fix you together. All right. Now you heal yourself, by the way. I don't heal anybody. Okay. I give you the tips and the tools, the strategies and the techniques and the meal plan and the exercises, and your body will fix itself. All right. So that's what I do. So this program, how much is it? Because I know you're all going to ask. It's $1,000. All right. Now. That's not $1,000 up front. It can be if you've got the money. Great, pay $1,000 up front. If not, you can pay $550 times 2, so $550 up front, $550 2 weeks later. If that's a little bit too much, which I know it can be for some people, then you can pay $200 up front and $100 a week for 9 weeks. So on those last two, you pay a total of $1,100. All right. If you think that's too much, then I can't help you. Okay, because your gut is your engine, and your engine is your what's the word I'm looking for? It is the thing that controls your health. Okay. How do you know if you can afford this? If you've got an iPhone 8 or a Galaxy 9, you can afford this program. All right. If you don't understand what I mean by that, then you need to think about your priorities. Okay. At the end of the day, your body is your machine that carries you through life. You need to take care of it. You take care of your machine that carries you through life, you will have a happy, healthy, long, disease, illness-free, to a certain extent. I can't guarantee that. Quality of life. Okay. You'll have energy like me. You know what I mean? I'm 44. I'm not 21. Okay. I'm in pretty much the best shape of my life. I have been like this for the last 10 years probably. I pretty much maintain the health that I have now because my life is now about health as opposed to gym results and looking buff, which I do as well. But you know what? That's a bonus. That's not my primary purpose. All right. So on that note, if you would like my help to heal your gut, to bring your body back to optimal health, you can apply below this video. There'll be a link there afterwards, okay, for my 30 to 60-day gut healing program. All right. So on that note, folks, thank you for watching. I hope this one has been as helpful or informational as the last two. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like. If you love it, give it a share. And if you want my help, apply below. All right, people. Thanks for watching. Cheers. See ya.